that off. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. Just give me a second to get everything situated on my end. Okay, 1 second. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Saturday evening / night. Okay. Okay, see your comments now. Yo, what's up? What's up? Alright, I'm going to be running some raids, as the title suggests. I believe I have 2 anniversary raids to run, as well as the Sins of Black Adam content to run. Oh, you're not even online. Okay. So if anybody would like to join me, feel free to do so. Send me a tell in game and I'll happily add you or log on, and we can run some content. But in the meantime, I'm going to queue up, and no, I don't want to hurt that, and run some raids. Got that going. We'll get that one going. Yeah, I actually was. I was. I was. Come on. I'll get into something eventually.
This Flux and Speed Force is crawling with Paradox demons. No idea what's causing it, but we've got to keep an eye out for Professor Zoom. I'll scout ahead. Brother Eye, Batman's superpower tracker that went haywire? What's it doing here?
Yeah, wait, you're in CT. You're in CT. Where are you from? You're in CT. Like, depending on what part you're in, it's like 5 years away from me. Yo, what's good, just saying. How are you, my friend? Oh, and once you guys answer the poll question, please, if you'd like to elaborate,
Okay.
drop a comment down and we can discuss it.
Will be erased.
You're not erasing anything. It's charging up. Hunker down, everyone.
Oh, you're from here? That's what's up, bro. Me too. Me too. Well, I don't live there now, but I'm originally from New York. I'm not too far from New York. Meatloaf and potatoes. That is... I haven't had meatloaf in a long time. That actually does sound good. I had some pasta and chicken earlier. DC needs to hire more devs. Not enough planned. I knew they hired a couple of people. I don't know if the team is back to 100% capacity. But I knew they hired a few new developers. I don't know what positions. I don't know what positions they have filled.
You can't figure out why the Paradox demons would be drawn by the anti-monitor? Come on.
But I know the team is slowly growing. What do you mean there's not enough planned? As far as you don't think they're going to cover the whole year without having absences and content or something? Or were you expecting more?
Look, if the anti-monitor is sending these things out, we need to take them
I'm from
together.
Brooklyn.
Take them out?
New York.
You think you can solve the anti-monitor's
Rhode Island.
paradox? You?
Not me. Us. Together.
So,
That's the worst idea
two
I've ever
states
heard.
over.
I'm in.
I'm actually really close to Connecticut. I'm like 5 minutes away. I actually went visited family for Christmas, and I was in New York. I was in New York for about a week there.
Another paradox.
Destroy.
You are overloading paradox energy. Run away.
Alright, so 2 episodes? Is that all?
Don't absorb too much of that energy from the tendril. Wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
Yes, I think you're right. It is 2 episodes. So yeah, we're gonna get the 2 episodes. One is the shock to your system. The other we don't know of yet. I believe we're gonna end up getting, because there was a big gap. So I'm pretty sure we're either gonna get survival mode again, or the save the universe. And the emotes, I'm curious to see what they do for it. I'm like, I could care less, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be another way to make money, probably tied to seeds and time capsules, all that good normal crap that they do. They got to make money out of it somehow. I'm interested to see if they actually do the graphics update. I know they said it was due this year, end of this year sometime, so it'll be interesting to see if they actually have it completed and ready to launch. But yeah, I do agree.
So your plan is to take out every individual paradox demon? I have to see how you think this will actually solve the paradox.
Yes. You're in Long Island. That's nice.
Flash.
That's cool. I haven't been in Long Island.
Never mind. I guess that's the best I'll get
Quite
from you.
some time. It's actually weird because Long Island is actually really close to Rhode Island via the ferry. So that's the closest I am. I think it's like an hour away from me, which is kind of weird. So I'm actually kind of far, but yet kind of close to New York. I just wish they would do a lot more. It could be. Oh yeah, that's true. Are these they were fighting the guys over here. I was talking about.
Both of you will be destroyed.
Yeah, it could be better. I feel last year was definitely underwhelming to the point where I even took a break. I had some things going on in my personal life, but still I took a break. I think I was off all summer, if not a little longer, and I missed absolutely nothing. So I hope this is not one of those years that, you know, we can afford to take off for an extended period of time and come back and nothing is still new. But we shall see. One thing I'm actually curious that I know that they're planning on putting in the game is the new boss for this episode. Because quite a few times I went to the teleporter for this episode, and there was the Injustice bounty, the House of Legends teleport, and then there was the Prideful bounty, which we still have not seen. They have not said anything about it. Normally they release the new bounty once they add things to the vendor, which they did, but we didn't get any bounty. So I'm curious to see if they scrap the idea. Just haven't heard anything about it yet. So we shall see. I hope for the best. I feel like a good amount of us have invested so much time in this game. It's kind of disappointing to see we don't get enough content to maintain that. I know a lot of people, they continue to play the game just because they've been playing it for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, you know? It's become a part of the daily routine. But the most news we've gotten about the current, or not current, but upcoming episode, like I said, is going to be Shock to Your System, I believe is the name of it. There's going to be one raid, there's going to be a duo, a alert, one raid, and then they're going to go back to the open world bounties like they had in Wonderverse and in Elite. So I know some people complain about that, but it is something to do, especially if we're going to do it the same way we did it last time, as far as spamming those bosses unlimited times to get special currency, you know, for the OP gear, as well as the currency for the elite weapons as well. And beam so far, but don't know much about it. Oh, about you don't know much about them? About the static shock ones? Is that what you're referring to? Am I going the right way? I think I am.
That's the center of the Paradox Demon Incursion, a confluence of magic,
I honestly don't know much about them either, other than when I was younger, they obviously had the Static Shock show going on. They had a Static Shock show going on, so I did watch that as a child. That is my extent of knowing about that. You know, it's not like I read the comics. But it does seem interesting. It's good to see that they're at least they're changing it up. They're introducing new characters. They're introducing the open world bosses again. So it's a little different from what we've had the past year and a half. I'm trying to think when it first came out. So yeah, probably the last year and a half. So it's a little different formula. So if you were tired of running out of things to do, now you can sit there and spam open world bosses for days. I'm kind of disappointed that they don't have 2 raids. That they're going to substitute 1 raid because we're getting open world bosses. I feel like
Simple
with the absence of content for so long, they should be able to give
You
us
really have to tell us that you could remove dirt with
bosses
water
to spam in
splash.
open world unlimited, as well as 2 raids. I know they feel like they're giving us a lot of content between the 2 bosses, or not the 2 bosses, the open world bosses, however many there are going to be, I'm unsure. And the raid, as well as giving us elite versions. We'll probably get regular elite and elite plus again. So it's kind of disappointing that they're going to consider, hey, we gave you elite and elite plus, but it's essentially the same raid. So it's kind of pointless. A Wonderverse style. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to have the open world bosses. So because we're going to have that, we're going to have 1 raid.
You know, we make a pretty good team.
I'd rather run over broken glass.
So I feel like this episode, the upcoming episode, might last a while, just because most likely what they're going to do is they are going to raise the price of the gear, so you're going to have to run the content for a lot longer. It's going to be more expensive to max out, as well as you're going to have to spam the open world bosses to get, most likely they're going to have an elite weapon again, as well as the elite gear tied to those bosses. So I feel like that's how they're going to try to substitute not having certain things. The prices of gear is going to go way up, and we're not going to have as much content to run, so it's going to take us longer to achieve max CR. But that's just my thought. We'll see what actually happens. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the Wonderverse or Legion, because those cycles were, if I'm not mistaken, those were 30-minute cycles. 30 minutes. I think Legion was a 30-minute cycle between the bosses. If I'm not mistaken, I think Wonderverse was an hour. I think it was like, how many bosses were in Wonderverse? So I thought it was like 15 minutes per boss. I can't remember. We shall see what they come up with. I'm so close to 160 on this. Come on. For me, the boss spamming was exciting the first weekend. Have drugs again. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't like the fact that they made it you had to do it, essentially. You had to spam the bosses. It wasn't optional at some point. Like if you wanted the OP face, you had to spam the bosses to get the crystals or whatever it was to drop. So you had to spam the bosses to get that. If you wanted the OP face, you had to do that. If you wanted the elite weapons, you had to do it. Versus normally, you don't have to spam bosses for hours. You know, you'd have to do the raid, you know, the regular content, but you don't have to spam the bosses. Especially since it's so one-sided, you would have to, if I'm not mistaken, hold on, let me go back over to 31st. Is that going to be tier 6? Yeah, I can't quite remember how it ran. It was so long ago. So it was this vendor, if I'm not mistaken.
Remember, Probe Tech for all your mechanical needs.
Was it this vendor? Oh, okay. So I remember they had just changed it. The only way to get the crystals before were they dropped, so you had to spend hours running them, or buy them from the broker. But they changed it in the episode at some point, so you can purchase them. But even this was the account bound one, so you had to run the bosses for this, as well as. Okay, so the generator mods, you had to run do the bosses to the generator mods as well. If I'm not mistaken, I thought it was the elite
sensor protects us from Wardrow's magical control. I apologize for the inhospitality of other androids.
Why did I think it was the weapons? Yeah, so even the elite weapons. The elite weapons you had to spam the open world bosses for. I forgot how many dropped per boss, but it was 400, and then you needed the currency, the regular currency on top of that. So it's just like, all right, you can spend your time spamming open world bosses, but not running the raid. In this episode, we only had one raid too, if I'm not mistaken, which was. What the hell was it? It was the Mordru fight or whatever. So yeah, we only had one raid. So it's either you spend hours spamming bosses, or you spend hours spamming the raid, trying to build up those marks, and then you still had to go back and do the open world bosses. But I know a lot of people were very happy once those things came out for the crystals came out for those the currency marks at the time. So probably what I will do for the next episode, I will take my time with the OP gear, because this episode I had the OP was OP face. Maybe it took me about 4 weeks, maybe a month to get it. But this time I probably will slow down on that. I'll probably sell the catalyst to make a few bucks, instead of maxing out the OP face. But my thing is, I don't want to take too long maxing out the OP face, because the OP face, or any OP gear, is going to only last for so long. So I want the most time with it. So because this OP face will still be good for the next episode, I want to see the next episode's gear is probably going to go 350... 352, 353, something like that. So the OP face will still be good, but then once the new episode comes out, so it's only good for two episodes, the OP gear. Yeah, I'm like, the thing about that, I do it for a video, say, hey, you know, I got from rank 0 to 10, this is what you need, this is what it looks like, these are the stats, I went from 10 to 20, this is what it looks like, you know, so on and so forth until it's maxed, since I show the stats compared to everything else. But between Obsidian Chill showing off before the episode drops, hey, this is what everything looks like, this is what max CR is, you know, people kind of already know what to expect for it. But I just like to show my progression, not just for views. I'm like, I can care less about the views, just to show my progression, say, hey, it is possible. I don't spend any money in the game, I don't run in an elite group, I pug everything just about, unless I'm running with my league, or you guys ask me, or someone might ask me for help. I played the game, you know, fairly on my own. So I just want to show you guys what's possible. So everything that I show you guys is because that's what I run. I'm not going to show you guys a video saying, hey, this is how you make millions of dollars, you know, billions of dollars, and you see me sitting with, you know, $10,000. That's not what I do. As well as same thing with the artifacts. You know, the last video I had posted, how to get artifacts from 0 to 200 for free. That's a method I use. It's not me posting a video and saying, hey, it's possible. I don't do it myself, but it's possible to do it. No, that is the method that I use. I'm not like other YouTubers out there saying, hey, this is how you get your artifacts to 200, but I don't do this method myself. I go out there and pay. No, I preach and do what I preach. You know, that is how I play. I'm not going to tell you guys, hey, go do this, but I don't do it. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's kind of backwards. As well as, I'm not going to show you guys I'm not going to show you an informative video. You know, like some YouTubers like, hey, this is how you get millions of dollars. Oh, but I did it during bonus week. The bonus week just ended, so now you can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show you guys, like, hey, you guys want to make money? This is what you do, like, right now. Not, you should have done it last week. Am I happy with the, I'm happy that they're transparent, to a degree where we know kind of what we're going to get. I also like that, which is kind of stupid, I like the fact that they put down that it's all subject to change. You know, at this point, this is their plan, but it might change. So I'm expecting, I expect to get less than what they say we're gonna get. That's what I expect. But I'm happy to see that they are at least trying to add something to the game, that they're trying to do something, instead of just basically complaining, saying, hey, we don't have a big team. You know, I'm like, at the end of the day, I don't care how big or small their team is, you have thousands of people paying for membership, you have to make it work. But I'm interested to see the new emote system. I'm interested to see how the new raid is going to function, and the new content as well as just a raid. You know, more bosses, etc. And just the character models, because those are characters that we don't have yet. I know we have Static already, so he's probably going to look the same unless it's an older version of him. So I'm happy that they're going to add new character models to the game. Obviously, they're going to have a new open world. So it's going to take place in Dakota City. So it's not going to be a Gotham or Metropolis reskin or Kondak. I'm like, then again, it might be. They might just try to make Metropolis look like something else, but we shall see. Would you take a new power?
Oh man, I leave this place unguarded for like a minute?
Would I take a new power?
The portal to the underworld is this way.
Every year if we only get one new episode. No, I wouldn't. Because I would still be bored. Like, what would that new power really do for me? Yeah, I might be able to play the power for a month, maybe 2 months, okay. But I'm gonna get bored and running the content. It's still gonna be the same content. I don't care what power you are. You'd still get bored. I mean, you might have a different rotation. You know, your animations might look different, but it's still the same. It's still the same content. So I feel like that still would be very boring. It definitely wouldn't fly. Because you have to think, I'm like, it's just not. Devs are going to make $10 because people might switch their main over. And if they don't switch their main over, they're going to make a new character and possibly test it out, or go on test server and try it, and might not even ever play it on their main character. So I'm like, I don't know. I definitely, I can care less about the new powers. And the funny thing about that is
like your whole deal, but Neuron's way better at it than you.
the people that want a new power haven't played every single power out there. So you want something new, but at this point we have what 16 powers? However many we have. Well, we have people out there that's only played 3 powers. So you want a new power to possibly not play it or not like it? So I would hate for the developers to spend 6 months out of the year working on a power for the community to not like it, to not even use it. At least with a new episode, hate it or love it, we're gonna play it because we're gonna want to maintain our CR. And it's something different to do. So I definitely wouldn't want to see a new. I definitely wouldn't want to see a new power versus, you know, a new episode. I'd rather have more content to run on that line for some normalcy, as well as, you know, do. Just say next. All the powers are balanced and whatnot. No, I definitely don't think all the powers are balanced. Because there's a reason why certain players, you know, the community isn't water Mike or water Prick. You know, there's certain reason why I have not ran into a water DPS in so long. Water healers, those are still few and far between. But even water was the newest power they made. I've hardly run into anybody. Atomic, nobody is atomic DPS. I've seen a couple atomic tanks, but really atomic DPS, no. I haven't seen it. So especially with precision being as overpowered compared to might, people are just precision. So that just shows the scale of things aren't balanced. I'd prefer them to balance super speed if they have to nerf certain moves, because if you have a melee combo, you're automatically going to use Whirling Dervish and those other super speed moves. It's just too much. It's just too much unbalance in the game. So if they add a new power, is it going to be broken? We're going to spend time trying to balance it versus, you know, them already having powers that need to be balanced to begin with. So, no, the game's power scaling is completely off. And it should be balanced. All the powers are completely balanced. Then you can choose them. Essentially, yeah, you are right. If everything is equal, then it's just a basic animation difference. Which I technically wouldn't be opposed to it. So I wouldn't go into a raid, you know, as a fire DPS, for instance, and get out DPS by an electric DPS and say, man, that guy only beat me because he's electric. And when that happens, then you have 90% of the community going, for instance, Gadget's Prick, because Gadget's Prick is broken. So that's why everyone says, hey, what's top DPS power in the game? Gadget's Prick. Electric Prick. Precision in general, out DPS. So then it will come down to, if everything's balanced, then it possibly comes down to, alright, how many skill points do you have? What is your artifacts looking like? What's your rotation? Those are going to be the key defining factors between you and someone else at that point. I'm like,
How about
that's just my
no?
opinion.
I might not have liked that dork, but I hoped he'd at least stop you losers.
I'm like,
Why stop us?
does
Don't you
every
wanna
single
fix
power
Conduct?
need to do the
Rescue ISIS?
exact same
God,
damage?
you adults are all the same.
You know,
Every
does electric
time
dot
it's a lecture.
need to do the same
Don't
as
mess
fire's
with our
dot?
magic.
Not
Don't
necessarily.
upset the natural order of
Even if it's,
things.
you know, alright,
Blah,
slightly,
blah,
but
blah.
even
Then
thinking
as soon
about
as an adult wants to pull a soul out
super
of the
speed,
underworld, it's suddenly the right
that
thing to do.
those power set
Someone's
moves
gotta
are
stop you
completely
freaking
broken
hypocrites,
compared to
and
the
it
other
looks like it's gonna have
power
to be
set
me.
moves. Completely. See Obsidian Chill's video. But he's like, I'm not gonna even tell you guys, you know, I'm not gonna make a video about not being super speed, because if you want to be top in the game, you have to be super speed.
Leave me
I don't like
alone.
that. I don't like the fact that I'm locked into a playstyle because I want to be semi-decent or good, top, you know. I have to play certain modes. I like variety. That's why I'm not switching to super speed. A, I don't like super speed as a movement. I enjoy flying around the city, seeing different things, as well as
Feeling a bit electric.
as well as just being different. A lot of people say, "Hey, if you're in a tank, you should be super speed."
I'll show you.
I tank
what
perfectly fine
power
on
means.
flight.
Feeling a bit electric.
Hold on. I'm trying not to die here, as well as I have it pulled up in my
No one likes being caged.
block that for a second.
I make my own opportunity.
Yeah, I'm like that. When they changed that, that was them trying to balance the powers. So yeah, that was interesting. They tried it, and then all right, this power got nerfed a little. This move doesn't do as much damage anymore. I have to figure out a new loadout. It kept things different. Now it's just so stagnant. It's like, all right, what's the good power? It's been the same since they haven't done it with it. I want to say the last thing they did with powers was the supercharge scaling, as far as what supercharges you use. If I'm not mistaken, that's the last thing they did regarding.
I make my own opportunity.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like that. It's why am I locked into a playstyle that I don't like? And I commented on someone's video. It was a fire melee build, and I'm like, this doesn't look like a fire build. It looks you have the fire's
we may have bested you this
dot,
time, but keep that fighting
robot
spirit.
sidekick,
Never
2 super speed
submit to
moves,
another.
a supercharge.
behind and guard the rock of
So it was between.
Good luck getting Kondak and the rest of ISIS.
I think
back from
he might have two
As soon
two
as
fire
we
moves,
muster our
two
strength,
two
the
super
final
speed
journey
moves,
to the underworld
robot
will
sidekick,
begin.
and Neo Venom boost. 2 iconics, 2 super speeds, and only 2 fire moves. So it's just like that's not a fire loadout. That's an iconic and super speed loadout. So to me, that's just like it just shows certain things are clearly broken. Even when Solar Amp was broken, everybody was running Heat Vision in their loadout because Heat Vision with Solar Amp was broken. Heat Vision is supposed to be a single target. Nope. That damage didn't split. Everybody was running it. Heat Vision. At one point, it was Heat Vision and Robot Sidekick. That was it. 2 moves, 2 iconics, and then they had their dots. If you could build an artifact, what would it be? Oh God. If I could build an artifact, I personally like artifacts that have a dual feature. So, for instance, Eye of the Gemini. For example, Eye of the Gemini works with every single power, with every single role. So, I would like to build an artifact that works similar to that. I currently know we're in a crit heavy meta. I wouldn't mind an artifact that works on your how would I say that? Your what the hell would they call it? The number of hits you have, essentially. So if we had an artifact that, say I'm tanking and I maintain a hit counter over 25, right? It boosts my dominance by, I don't know, 10% or whatever. I wouldn't mind an artifact like that. That same artifact, if I'm DPSing, alright, if you maintain a hit counter over 25 for however many seconds, you know, it would refresh. I wouldn't want it constantly because that would be a little broken. So if you have a hit counter that lasts, you know, whatever amount, and then, you know, you get a buff. 25, as soon as you hit 25, your precision and your might get buffed by 10% max or whatever. I wouldn't mind that. Same thing with healing. That would also help healers. They would get a buff in restoration. 10% of the restoration will go up if they maintain a hit counter. So that would mean your healer wouldn't just be standing there healing and waiting on the troll to get the power. Same thing with the troll. The troll roll will be more active. They'll be doing more weapon combos. Their vitalization might go up. Or not even that. Maybe tanking healers, their healing chance, their healing crits will go up. Their healing magnitude. Same thing with DPSing. Their damage crits, their overall damage might go up. So something along that line. So that would be perfect, because I feel like we need more artifacts that work for every single role. So it gives us the flexibility to change our powers. So, for example, as I'm sure many of you guys know, this is my tank character. Why is this my tank character? Because I have tank artifacts on this character. Would I like for Killer B to possibly be a healer? I wouldn't mind it. Because I have certain DPS artifacts that I don't have on my healer character, that my healer character doesn't have, so I don't know what they would do. So, I feel with artifacts catering to one particular role, it locks you into playing a tank. So I have, what, 3 or 4 tank artifacts? What I have, Manacles, Mystic, actually I only have 2 real tank artifacts. I guess I have Gemini. It's a dual role, so it doesn't matter. But I have 2 artifacts 160 or higher. So it's either, now I'm gonna have to, if I want to go to a troll power, and I want a troll, now I have to put those artifacts into a different artifact and start all over leveling up with the seals and catalysts. Versus if you have one artifact that does every single role, people will be more likely to change powers. You're not going to be hesitant to say, hey, you know what, now I need to get new gear, I need to get new artifacts. No, it's just, I need new artifact, or not new artifacts, I just need new gear now. So it would be a little easier to change powers. So that will be my ideal thing, you know, have one artifact that works for every single role. Like they had, what the hell was that? Heart of Isis. It sounded good. It's unpractical because of the way everything's set up. It gives you a supercharge and it makes you do certain things in that supercharge. you know, which might not be ideal. Like one of them is now it's a lunge. You have to lunge at the boss to get to the next thing. Like unrealistic, you know. I'd rather something increase your base stat for your particular role, and you keep it pushing. So even like Eye of the Gemini is fine. Most powers use a supercharge. So if you want to be a tank, you're going to throw out your green, you're going to get power back, you're going to get healing. If you're a DPS, you're going to get that buff. Also, you're going to get some of that damage from people that are around you. So those dual role artifacts, just like the transformation and strat, which work accordingly between your crits, you know, and then that damage or healing or power extra tick if you get a crit. If you will take a DPS artifact that will replace transfers. I don't think so. Only because I don't think they will replace, or I don't think they will make an artifact good enough to replace them. It all depends. I'm like, we're still technically in a supercharged meta game, so if they have a supercharge good enough, or rather, if they have an artifact good enough that works off of supercharge. So, let's say, because automatically you're gonna have Eye of Gemini, you probably run Quizlet at level 200 to get the extra supercharge back, as well as, you know, once you do a supercharge, you gain he does that extra damage. So you'd probably run Eye of the Gemini to siphon some damage, Quizlet to get that extra damage from your supercharge, as well as increase supercharge regen with his beam at 200. I don't know, I feel between the game being crit heavy and supercharge, I'm like, it's difficult to say. It's difficult to say if they're gonna make an artifact more powerful combination, you know, the synergy between transformation and strat, like, they were made at the same time. They were made to work with each other. Versus now, we're getting episode drops, you get one artifact. It might be hit or miss. You know, but that one, that was in, what the hell was that? Dark Knights 2, or whatever the hell it was called? They dropped, what, 3 or 4 artifacts, and those two were together. Like, they were made to work together. So, they don't make artifacts that work that well anymore together. So, it's hard to say. It is extremely hard to say. But I know if they ever do come out with artifact that works better than that, then obviously that's going to be the new meta. Everybody's going to run it. What's the hardest raid in your opinion if they were all scaled the same? Ooh. I'm trying to think. I will. Alright, you guys might disagree with me on it. But I started playing the game, like, like getting into raids and everything around the time of the Trigon episode. But I will say that Trigon episode, that Trigon raid, the Elite, between the ads and if you didn't know what to do, was a bit hard. With the actual first raid that I ran, Elite at level, and that was hard. I would have to say it was DWF, Dark Side's War Factory Elite. That was I feel like that was the most recent. It's been years since it came out, but that was.
But heads up,
even regular people were struggling with. And everybody complained when Elite was out. And people were like, man, they're just making it so hard. So that was the first raid I remember where people were like, yo, they're just making Elite so fucking hard. It's like, why?
Oh, this
Like,
is going to
so I would have to
fail
say,
wonderfully.
just because that was the one thing that I actually ran at level, I wasn't over leveled, I wasn't under leveled. You know, like that was at my level. I would have to say Darkseid's War Factory Elite was the most difficult raid.
Your plan would be to do that forever.
What do you guys think? That's just my opinion. I know some of you guys have been playing a lot longer. I know lots of people said that Paradox one, where you had the Paradox Tyrant and everything. I know people said that was difficult, but I never played that at level. And even now with the stat clamp, it's challenging, but I'm still over leveled for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not too difficult. You know. Wait. To be fair, at level, we're so many. Yes, there was, but as far as, like, when I say DWF, even those elite groups were struggling with it. They weren't just walking in it and beating it with no problem. Versus now, we have elite raids, and people are beating elite raids day one, and spamming, and getting elite gear, you know, in that week, in that 2 weeks. So but like I said, DWFE was the first raid that I was aware of that, like, people were on the forums like, yo, this is too fucking hard. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, is that gonna be the new normal? Like, Elite's just gonna be like, yeah, nah, you're not beating it. Like, it's gonna be that fucking hard. That's why I say DWF. But yes, there have been multiple challenging raids in the past that have been quite difficult.
Anyone is going to plunder this world, it's going to be us.
Each player really do a good job. On that is Assault on that. I'm trying to remember that. That was that the one where you got split into 2 groups? And Assault on the Battery. I can't remember that one, but I'm pretty sure that was after. I'm probably sure I played it
from this world.
I don't remember. How many raids are there? I can't remember every single raid. Yeah, Paradox was definitely difficult. But to me it wasn't difficult because, like I said, when I started playing, it was already a lower raid. So we were not even doing a side room, we were just jumping straight through it, you know, beating it, collecting our loot, getting out. But now that everything's clamped, I see when it did come out, it was
efforts are in vain. I shall devour this planet for eternity.
Okay. Let's get back into playing. Last week and use the skip, and I'm going.
Helping the situation. Stop them from reaching the anti-monitor.
You're going for a fire tank. I have a few questions. Is this your first time tanking? Do you know the fundamentals of tanking as well as how fire works? Because every tank has a different gimmick. Fire is essentially with the healing. Atomic is kind of with the healing as well as it relies on the defense, keeping your aura up, all that other good stuff. Rage, keeping your combo up, you know, having that health pool, not rage crashing, because you're gonna get those heals back. Earth, obviously Earth. I feel is like the best tank power. Not biased at all, since, you know, I played Earth is, I feel, one of the best tank powers between the shield, gemstone shield being the strongest shield in the game, as far as the strongest tank shield in the game. Ice, obviously ice is more shields. So, as long as you know that
You have no hope.
fire tanking relies on healing back, so you're gonna have Immolation
You have
as your
achieved
fire
victory
shield, which
this
only
year,
blocks 35% of the
and the
damage,
next,
versus other tank powers
and the next.
have
But 1 year.
tanks,
Your bones
tank shields
are
that block
dust.
100%. So fire shield
I
only blocks
be the
35.
victor,
So it's not necessarily a shield.
and so
Then you're gonna run hard light
we
shield.
have
Every
both
tank power runs hard
achieved
light shield.
Victory.
I
Hence
think
the
it's a
paradox.
16-second cooldown.
Destroying you now would be
About
fitting.
halfway through,
If there is something
your
more,
shield drops. So you need to have good shield
I must
rotation for
attend
any
to.
tank power set.
I
You need
mean,
to have good
thanks.
shield rotation.
What's more pressing than us?
More so with fire. Because you're going to be taking that damage. This is my first time tanking and have watched a few videos in the fundamentals, so I have a bit of an idea. Okay. Oh, it was an instant chat the whole time. These guys are like, why the hell is this guy talking? Who is he talking to? I will show you, since you're here, I'm trying to get to everybody's comment. Alright, hold on, Chris. Let me go over this real quick. I will show you my tank setup. I can show you my gear and all that other good stuff. Really, you're skipping to 333 anyway, so gear necessarily doesn't matter. Obviously, you'd collect your gear. You'd go with all tank gear. Collect all your tank gear. You know, I have elite gear, but you shouldn't worry about that at the moment. Collect all your tank gear. Artifacts, I'd say, is the next biggest and important thing, because you want to have good fundamentals in your artifacts. You don't want to pick any artifact. So definitely, regardless of what tank power you switch to, you would want to run Manacles of Force. It is the GOAT of tank powers. It is the staple. I don't care what power you pick, you are going to run Manacles of Force. Now the next two are different. It depends on your playstyle, but I would definitely recommend Mystic Symbols of the 7. You gain increased defense depending on the number of adds around you, as well as you get healing back. Now, with that being said, fire tanks automatically have increased healing, so perfect for fire. I personally run Eye of Gemini. It's just one of the artifacts I have leveled up, so I run it. But the third one is kind of up to you. There's lots of different artifact combinations you can use. You can use the Everyman prototype. With fire not having 2 shields that block 100% of the damage, you're going to take some damage. You can use Everyman prototype. Depending on how low your health drops, that increases your defense. Higher defense, less damage you take. So that's up to you. You can use the Lazarus Pit. In case you die, you can res yourself. Do a little healing pool. But definitely, I'd recommend Manacles of Force as well as Mystic Symbols of the 7. Now, let me actually get out of here before it just times me out. And I will go over the way I set up my stat points. What do we got going on here? I keep on getting messages. Okay. Traits. I will actually read. Where's fire? So you're 333, so you unlocked the tanking side. But normally at level 10, you'd unlock the tanking side, and once in tank role, you gain the following benefits while in tank role: 50% health, 50% incoming healing while not blocking. So most tank powers have an effect where when you don't block, you gain some kind of perk. So Fire's perk is you get the health, you get the increased healing while not blocking. So like I said, when Mystic Symbol starts healing, that's automatically going to get increased while you're not blocking. Plus 3 perception, you gain Fire Soul. Superpowers gain Taunt. Abilities cost 30% less power. Fire Soul, you gain 35% defense while not blocking. As 35% while not blocking, as you directly damage burning enemies, with bonus increase up to maximum 60% defense while not blocking. So don't block unless you have to. You know, there's a one-shot mechanic. You want to block, but you gain lots of perks. So it's not one of those power sets where it's like, all right, I'm gonna hit my shields and then block. You know, so keep that in mind. So now that we know how fire taking works, you know, just a rough how it works. My particular loadout, immolation, that is fire shields. It's like I said, every tank power has a shield specific to it. So this is it. It's immolation. Second is hard light shield, which I'll show you how to get into. That's going to be your next shield you're going to go into. I use Stoke Flames. Decreases damage dealt, but increases the total healing. Get healing back. So Conjure, Restore to Flames, healing yourself over time. The intense heat sears enemies, damaging them over time. So essentially it burns enemies, which when you hit burnt enemies, you gain increased healing. Works hand in hand. So I'll show you how I use that in my rotation. Backdraft, it's a 360 pull as well as a heal. So you gain increased healing with enemies burning. This particular loadout, like I said, I'm using Eye of the Gemini, which works off a supercharge. So I picked a supercharge that is 25% cost, so I could essentially have a full power bar of supercharge and spam 4 of them if I wanted to. And then you have Engulf, which also burns enemies. You always want to keep that burning PI up, so you get that increased healing. So it's a single, it's a range pull. So basically the loadout I use, the way I use it, I clip my first and third move together. So while I'm getting hit, I'm getting heals back from, let me go back to loadout. I clip, like I said, first and third move, so this only blocks 35% of the damage. So while I'm taking some damage in, but I'm also getting healed from Stoke Flames. So once those are down, I will end up clipping, I'll show you again, I clip those. So Engulf lasts probably about half of its cooldown, so you'll see it, once it gets to the middle, it drops. Oh, actually lasts a little longer than I thought. But once it gets to the middle, I typically use that as a good point to go into my next shield. So I can clip Hard Light and Stoke Flames, go on so forth and so on. That would be your shield rotation. So once Hard Light shield is on its halfway point of the cooldown, it drops, you go back into your Engulf. Then your pulls. That's the basic. That's how I run it. Try to keep it simple. It's a very effective loadout. You're gonna start off with like 88 skill points. That's not a lot, but it's something. It's something to work with. So for you, I would go with either your supersonic or your whatever it is, that first one for you. Your super speed or I don't know the names of them, but go to that first one. Your iconic, you're gonna always want to have Hard Light shield as a tank. So go to your iconics, collect the hard light shield. Mesmerizing lasso you don't necessarily need. It is a good single target pull and taunt. So it's up to you if you want to get it. You might not need Pheromone Bloom depending on the loadout you use. You might want to use a group breakout, which I can show you in a second. So that was iconics and stat points. I personally go with hybrid. If you remember that fire tank, they automatically use 30% less power, so I'm not too power hungry. But if you are, like, if you're tanking and you're like, damn, I'm running out of power quick, and you can't happen to pop a soda in time or whatever, I'm like, you can go with superpower. But the difference between superpower and hybrid, superpower, you're going to gain 10% might, so which is okay. 10% power, which is pretty much what you're going for, as well as a 25% power regen. But hybrid is essentially the better way to go because you're going to gain 10% might, 5% dominance, which dominance is a very important stat in tanks, as well as 5% restoration. Restoration is tied to your healing. 5% vitalization we're not too concerned about. But if you go down, once you select that, whatever you prefer, if like I said, if you see you're using too much power, go superpower. If you think you can manage without it, go hybrid, which basically, the more weapon attacks you use, that's how you're going to primarily gain power back. So you're going to want to keep your combo meter up. But once you determine that, out of the two choices you have for tanking, you're not too concerned about weapon expert, because that's more for like precision DPS. Once you do that, then you're going to go into the 2040, which is going to be 20 points into your critical healing chance, which, as a fire tank, healing is your bread and butter. Then you're going to put the 40 into crits healing magnitude, which, if you crit, it's going to increase the magnitude of that heal. So instead of maybe 50, it might be 100 now, because you increased it by that much. Then fire tanks, their health dips a lot, so I feel the bigger the pool you have of health, the better. So I particularly have 300 slow points into health, then I have another 100 into restoration. I only put 100 into restoration because it caps out at 10%, and then I put the rest in dominance. But for you, I'd probably go, I'd probably try hybrid. If you run out of power, like I said, go to super speed, but then definitely do the 2040, which is 60 skill points, and then you could start putting the rest into health. That is my suggestions. But like I said, if you don't want to run a supercharge, loadout. This is a group breakout. This is a group breakout. Provides immunity to controller effects to you and up to 7 group members. So it's if you're in case or something, you want to do a group breakout. There's also a good ally that works with it, Superman. You will gain a shield. So that's a rough look at that. So I hope that answered your question. I don't even know if you're still here. I hope you are. Okay, alright, thank you. Perfect. You heard it. Okay, I'm trying to read some next comments. What do you think needs to be done for more players to be attracted to the game? That is an interesting question. I feel honestly, I'm gonna say the graphics update, not too concerning. I don't feel like them updating the graphics is gonna bring more people into the game. Only because you're gonna get into the game of, oh, this game looks beautiful, it looks spectacular, but PvP is trash, PvP is broken. The powers aren't balanced, you know? So I don't feel like the graphics update will help bring more people in, as well as I don't feel like adding a new power is going to bring more people in. People are like, oh, well, I want a new power, I want this, I want that. I'm like, alright, you're going to have a new power. At the end of the day, you're going to play it, get off, and not even think about it. So I don't think adding a new power, even once a year, even 4 times a year, which, you know, if they want to drop power every month, every quarter, I don't think that's going to help. Because at the end of the day, the game is still what it is. It's still broken, it still needs to be fixed. I hear people say, well, they need to add more open world bosses. We have Metropolis, we have Gotham, nothing's going on there. I don't feel like that's going to add anything to it. But essentially what I do think, I think fixing PvP will help the game, because I know a lot of people, they don't like playing PvE, they just want to play PvP. I believe them fixing PvP will bring PvP players back, or people that like PvP. You know, very few games where you can actually make your own character, make a loadout, you know, customize your character, and go into combat as a superhero, essentially. So I would definitely say fixing PvP, balancing it, whatever it might need to be done, to get people to play PvP, or fix it rather. I don't PvP, I was never really into it, but whatever people think is broken, if they could work on that and fixing PvP, I believe that would be a big help. It wouldn't alienate, you know, 40% of the players or 50% of the players, however many people play and or left because PvP is broken. I believe they would come back. So that would mean you're gaining those people back. I also believe that having possibly bigger and better episodes will be beneficial to the players that play PvE, as well as a marketing thing, you know, because the only time DCUO really markets and advertises is when they have an event. You know, the anniversary event, I know there are a couple ads out, 12-year anniversary, the Anime Monitor's back, come do this. Same thing with Sins of Black Adam, you know, that's when they advertise, when they have those episode drops. I feel if they have bigger episodes that keep people engaged longer, you're going to retain that. You're going to have people want to play longer. So that's a bigger portion of the community that's PvE. So instead of the episode getting stagnant and boring after a month, if they could somehow, if they want to add a new raid every month until the end of the episode or whatever, or a boss or something, keep it fresh, keep it reoccurring, you know, bigger and better. As well as possibly, I feel like it might not work, but the frequency of episodes. If they could say, alright, we're gonna have a new episode every 4 months, 4, 8, 12, 16, so that's 4 episodes a year. I feel like that would help, because that gives people something to look forward to. They say, alright, I know for a fact we're gonna have a new episode every 4 months. So that'd be, let's say they drop one January, February, March, April, you know, every 4 months we get one. But that can also backfire, because they say, well, we're pumping out so much content, we're gonna give you guys crap content. So they would have to keep the quality up there. So between better PvE content and or more frequent PvE content, as well as fixing PvP, I believe those are the 2 biggest things they can do to bring more eyes to the game. Because if you don't have anything going on in the game, you're not going to advertise it. Like, how are you going to advertise a 12-year-old game? Say, oh yeah, we haven't done an update in 4 years, or 4 months or whatever, but we're going to push this on you. Why? What's the draw? So I feel like they need to add something to it. Like I said, either it's fixing PvP, adding more episodes, bigger episodes to PvE, something that can appeal to the masses. So I feel like that's what's needed. Alright, hold on, wait, let me, I see your comments about the strategist, let me get with you. No, sorry to be paying, I just wanted to know how important are mods and augments. Oh, I'm completely sorry about that. I skipped that. So, the adaptive augments, which is the thing that you're going to get every single episode. Every single episode is going to have a different one. It actually tells you, if I'm not mistaken, it tells you what it's suggested for. So dominance, as a tank, you know, you want to make sure you have enough dominance to pull adds. If you're under the level, the cap for dominance, then adds will just pretty much ignore you because you don't have enough dominance to essentially dominate them, you know, and say, hey, get your ass over here, you know. What the fuck am I saying? Yeah, so basically, so what I have is I have 2 dominance adaptive augments. Oops, why did I do that? So I basically have 2 adaptive dominance augments. Basically, as a tank, dominance is a very important stat. So you can go with, I would definitely recommend going with dominance. It also gives you health increase in the content. But for you, you're being underleveled. It's not necessarily a big priority until you get to the most current episode because you're going to run through episodes really quick. But dominance, I would recommend dominance. If you want, as a fire tank, you can go restoration, which, like I said, restoration helps your healing. So it's a little iffy. Also, it depends your build. Some fire tanks actually have like 3 shields in their loadout. They would use the group breakout, and the group breakout would trigger Superman. I'm not too sure about Superman's shield ability. I don't know if it goes off of dominance, but for shield's sake, dominance is tied into your shield as well, and the stronger your dominance, the stronger your shield will last. It depends your playstyle, but I would recommend going dominance, because even if you switch tank powers, you would need dominance, versus if you go ice, for instance. Ice doesn't use restoration. It'd be kind of pointless. So definitely, I would definitely suggest dominance. Same thing for the, these are ruins in my case, or the origin augments, they're named ruins. I went dominance, because every tank power I've had has been primarily dominance, so my dominance ones are up. I'm currently working on leveling my restoration ones, so I can try a resto build, you know, max out my restoration, you know, just different tanking methods, different ways of tanking, but I would definitely recommend leveling up your dominance. So all purple. For you, purple. Remember, purple is good. Yes, purple. I hope that answered all your questions. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay. Man, you guys are full of it today. Giving me all these questions, testing me. Alright. Like I said, let me know about that. In our next comments, strategies and transformation cards go best with which power set and role. Yeah, no problem. I have quite a few videos. I'm always live streaming. Well, I'll be live streaming more. I did a poll. If you guys haven't taken a look, I have a couple of polls going on. Even I have old polls on the channel. Next week I will probably go over them and just let you guys know, you know, hey, this is how it went. You know, if you agree, disagree, if you haven't been on those polls, go check them out. But yeah, I'm around, and feel free to ask questions. I know I'm a fire tank. I know a big help was what's his name? Gaming Prodigy. I keep on remembering his old name. But Gaming Prodigy has been a fire tank for quite some time. Very insightful. So check out his channel as well. And he might have some more information that I did not tell you. Or might not even know about. Because I've only been a fire tank for this episode. So I'm still fairly new. But like I said, once you get the fundamentals of the power and what a tank is and how a tank works, you can pretty much play any tank power. Same thing with healing. If you're a healer, you know the fundamentals of healing, you can pretty much play any healer power. DPS is a little difficult with PI setups and different things and the way the powers interact, but majority of the time, tank, troll, healer, there's certain things, like you're always going to run your shield with hard light shield, you're always going to run your pull, you know, healing, you're always going to run your priority group heal, you're going to have a shield, you might have your supercharged shield, like there's always certain staples you're always going to have. Same thing with trolling. You're always going to have your debuff, you're always going to have your power heal. Certain things you're just always going to have. But what power sets and role works best with Stratus and Transformation? That's, I'm not gonna even pretend. Oops, why keep I doing that? I'm not gonna even pretend to know what works best. I know. Honestly, I'd probably say. I'm not gonna say it works best, but I know it works really well with with electricity, because it has so many hits with the damage over times, you know, Tesla ball and different things, and those things are set up. You have so many different opportunities for the strat and transformation to activate for those crits, and then those dots on top of those crits. You just have so many times for it to work. Versus some powers just have, alright, I'm gonna hit him with the big move, and that's it. You know? So my opinion, I think electricity. But that's just my opinion. I'm not gonna say it's the best, but I know it works very well with it. If anybody else thinks anything different, feel free to let me know, or let us know. Okay, so getting a little wound down here in the amount of raids I need to do. If anybody would like to run anything with me, let me know. I'm more than happy to run with you guys. I'm all about that pug life, but I will be more than happy to help you guys out. I even missed my friend in the league. He wanted something, and I missed that comment. I thought he said he wants to run elite. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, you are so very welcome. If you guys have any more questions, feel free. I actually enjoy talking, for once. It's not me, talking to myself, and or just sitting here quietly.
I was recruited with a promise of fighting evil, but instead I'm selling colas in hell.
I need to buy the head and the back. And once I do that, that is going to give me the feat for completing the elite set. What is that? 70 and 95? Why is the head more than the back? That's just ridiculous. That's 165 marks I need in total. Because if I buy this, I'm literally just going to delete it because I have the OP head. Yeah, so definitely for next episode, I'll probably worry about getting the elite gear first. Just so I don't have to do what I'm going to do now, which is I spent all those marks on the OP head, and now I have to spend marks on the elite head. So at least I'd rather buy something I need at the time and then upgrade versus have something 25 levels higher and then essentially downgrade just because I need the feat. Fastest way to farm source marks. Fastest way, I would say people spam... hold on 1 second. People spam different raids for it. I would definitely recommend adding the LFG tab to your chat so you can see if people are spamming or running particular content that's spammable. Spam raids, it's super easy. Like Faust 3, Ultimate Soldier, those raids can be done in a matter of 10 minutes or so, give or take, depending on your group. But for you, I would just recommend, you have so much content to run. 33, I don't know which episode that is going to be for CR3 33. But I would just definitely recommend running that content. Running the Black Adam content as well, since that's the most recent one. You will get to that level eventually, but run the event version, as well as run the seasonal, which is Instant Monitor anniversary event stuff. So I would definitely run that, as well as you will receive gear from those drops, marks, feats that you'll desperately need, because if I'm not mistaken, you get 88 skill points with the skip. So you will definitely need more. You would hate to be, you know, pretty much at level and only have not even 100 points. I've pretty much just been doing the new event in all of the tier 1. That's the thing, you're 333. You don't have to do tier 1. They have this beautiful thing now, it's called the Omnibus. Just run that. Honestly, since you're fairly new, 88 skill points, I wouldn't worry about necessarily getting my CR up, because CR is so easy. You can run any content in game. I would run any content, and since it's your first time running it, you will get feats most likely. So I would just run anything. Queue up for the omnibus missions. You can select all. You can select raids. You can select solos, duos, whatever you want, and it will pick something for you. And you can click on that thing and run it forever. So I would definitely recommend not just spamming one raid. Run all the content you can to potentially get as many feats as you can. That's what I would do. Run that. As well as definitely raids, because you will learn how to tank different mechanics in raids. Because sometimes they repeat themselves, so it's good to know a particular mechanic just so you see it somewhere else, you know how to avoid it. Or not avoid it, or when to block and not to block, or what a skull attack is. So yeah, just run content. Yeah, and your level will creep up. Oh, what I didn't go over, generator mods. You're gonna get that. They drop from your episode, whatever you're running. So I'm getting episode 44 generator mods. Basically the same thing. You know, you're gonna have either your health or power. If you prefer, if you know you're running short on power, you might want to put a power generator mod in. Increase your power pool. If you, ooh, that almost killed me. If you see you don't have enough health, you might want to put health. So what I do is I split them evenly. I put 2 health mods in and 2 power mods in. Next one is going to be either dominance, restoration, or vit. I put all dominance in. And then the next one is going to be your offensive one, which you could put might in, which would increase your might. So essentially, if you DPS might style, your might DPS will go up, your damage will go up rather, as well as even like your pulling. Your pulls, you know, your supercharge, whatever, it might do damage. It's going to do more damage. So yeah, I forgot to do that. There you go. Yeah, no problem.
My demons will have fun playing.
Honestly, I don't like this kind of weird because everybody's CR skipping. They're climbing fast. How to play it. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, so I will be streaming now on Fridays and Saturdays. The times are going to vary. I have shit to do. I will do my best to stream at a fairly decent time. Friday nights and Saturday nights. So next week we will go over the poll questions. So like I said, if you haven't taken the chance to check out the different polls I have on the channel, go ahead and do so. Get out of my way. Then we can go over them. Like range from a variety of different things in the game. Even when I should stream. So, yeah. Get out my way!
I knew you would return.
Yes, return to take Kondak back. Reunite us? Before, you saw how I dealt with men. Now see how I deal with meddlesome insects.
Yeah, please stay out the lava. Pick him up, pick him up, pick him up, pick him up, someone pick him up, thank you.
Unwelcome guests can find my realm quite uncomfortable.
Why are you stomping on me? You're killing the group. Why are you doing that?
I just love playing with fire.
Get out the way, he sees fire. Oh, you're in on patrol. I just realized that.
Drink in your misfortune.
Souls, they belong to me! Hold him down. They belong to the living, and we will take them.
I am myself again, and ready to live once more.
And so we shall, along with my honored guests. Thank you all.
I count as an honored guest too, right? Black Adam? ISIS? Huh, weird, they turned off their comms. Well, yeah, I totally count. Bet they're putting together a feast in my honor right about now. I mean, everyone's honored.
Yeah.
Teamwork!
13 minutes? Alright guys, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'm going to try to organize my inventory in my bank. And possibly get off. I might stream tomorrow. But even if I don't, you guys add my character. You will more than likely see me online. And feel free to message me and we can run something. Guinea pig. My little guinea pig. Here you go, buddy. Here. Oh, and if anybody wants some of the catalyst for the OP head for episode 44, I do have some. 12 there, 15, as well as 70 of the other one. So if you guys need some, want some, let me know. But yeah, I will catch you guys next time. I appreciate you guys watching. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. I do lots of giveaways. Millions of dollars, billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, tons of millions of dollars. Items, styles, auras, accessories, all the above. So, if you guys want any of that goodness, oh, even real money too. Can't beat that. So if you guys want that to continue to happen, as long as we reach those milestones, they will continue to happen. Hopefully 2023 is the year we reach like extremely larger than any other giveaway I've done. But until then, I will catch you guys later. Have a good night.